Hey guys, this is Shawn Sanders. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Happy Vlogmas. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. So let's get with this Dirty John episode. It is episode 4, season 1, Shrapnel. Now, you know, the whole thing of this, you're in danger, girl, okay? There, we leave the last episode with this sense of urgency. Deborah and her daughter Veronica leaves like a thief in the night, and the PI said, you know, make yourself a difficult target. So we're under the impression that she's really trying to get away from John and figure out what she's going to do to really leave him because he's a bad man, right? So what we do here is get a real insight on the dynamics between Deborah and her mom, Arlene, and getting the backstory of what happened in their lives and pretty much why Deborah is kind of who she is. Now, Arlene is a religious woman, her mother, and of course we know about Toby. Toby is her nephew. And there was that scene where we knew that John didn't know the difference between a pastor, a bishop, a priest, a minister. The brother-in-law, the ex-brother-in-law, is also at the same church. So this episode, it goes back and forth, but I'm pretty much going to just do this part first and then give you Deborah. All I was thinking of was if Erica De Niro saw this and she was doing that rant about the misogyny of women, she would have been throwing her shoe at the screen. So we find out 20 years ago that Deborah has a sister, Cindy. Cindy is married to Bobby, which is her brother-in-law, and they have Toby. They go back and forth where the mother is talking to the son-in-law and her daughter, and she's really playing both sides. But the truth of the matter is that Arlene does not want Cindy to get a divorce. Cindy wants to divorce her husband. She's like, it's over. And when she talks to her son-in-law, she's really comforting him and letting him know that Cindy is just lost. And, you know, she just needs to find her way. And when she talks to her daughter, she quotes a lot of scriptures, but she's really not behind her in the divorce, and she's really not giving her advice that is best suited for Cindy. And so what ends up happening is the husband decides that he's going to kill her. And I guess he's a store shopkeeper. And he goes to a co-worker's house and gets a gun because he works the night shift and he wants to use it for self-defense. When really what ends up happening is he shoots his wife. Cindy was supposed to be meeting Arlene for lunch to let her know what's going on. Supposed to meet around at noon, but she's instead greeted with the cops. The cop says that your daughter is dead and your son-in-law killed her. He tried to kill himself, but he survived. And so Arlene now has to tell Toby, who's 11 at the time, what's going on and that they have to be strong and trust in the Lord and all that. Meanwhile, Arlene meets with Bobby, and Bobby just says that, you know, he shouldn't die because he should live with the pain of knowing what he's done. And Arlene says she forgives him. When they go to court, it's almost a nostalgic thing for her. She is saying how much, and even Toby, when we go and talk about the present, she talks about how, what did I write? She meets with the defense attorney against regarding Bobby. In court, she really favored him. She said what she did. She hated what he did, and that she didn't think he was in his right mind, and that she forgave him, and that his heart was full of love, and he had lost his way. It's very romantic, and even in my mind, it seems very diabolical of that thinking your daughter, who's your flesh and blood, is killed at the hands of your son-in-law. But when you hear her talk, she is very romanticizing that he loved her so much that he couldn't take it. Very warped, but very much for the man. And we find out that Deborah is really on the fence about John. She knows and she hears what everyone's saying, but she doesn't really know what she's going to do. She finds out that she really doesn't have a leg to stand on legally. The cop says that there's really nothing they can do. Veronica is being a pit bull, like, you're not going to do your job. And the cop is saying that he hasn't done anything to get arrested. So right now she's helpless. John is blowing up her phone. He leaves a creepy message, like, you're being a coward. I thought this was forever. And what ends up happening is Toby meets with Deborah. And it was, again, like, this whole family dynamic really has a very skewed sense of love. And Toby was like, well, I understand, my mom and my dad, and that he loved her so much that he did what he did. See, just almost this insidious, weird, backwards way of defining love. It permeates throughout the family. And he's like, I don't understand, but I just don't understand John. Like, why? Why would he do that? And it's like, John and Bobby are two sides of the same coin. They're selfish, possessive, using fear as a way to manipulate and to get what they want, to use that kind of power. But no one's really getting it. Now, the mom is talking to Deborah and she's like, I liked him. Maybe I saw him so much that he loved you that I couldn't see the real him. And the truth is that nobody knew the real him because nobody knew who he was. They hadn't even been together that long. So she ends up going to meet John at the hospital. John is crying. He's pathetic. He's saying how he's an addict. And of course, addicts do what they do, which is lie, manipulate, steal, do all that stuff to get what they want. And through that time, she's really, really on the fence about it. And he says, but whatever it was I've ever done, what I never did was lie about how much I love you. He even goes to say that he has MS and that there was this question of cyanide. And why did you have cyanide? And he gives this elaborate scenario where he was preparing to kill himself, and he had the cyanide there, and he's only used it as a, I know I can, if it got too bad, I could do something with it, but just even knowing that I could do it because I got the cyanide helped me deal with it. And that he has MS, and he's just BSing Deborah, and you can tell she wants to take him back. The man had no tears coming out of him, none at all. So we see John being wheelchaired out of the hospital, and there's Deborah waiting for him. Meanwhile, Deborah meets up with Veronica at the hotel. Veronica asks, have you changed the will? Did you get the marriage annulled? She says yes. Did you really, Deborah? Because I don't think you did. I really don't think you're in that proactive mindset to do it. I really don't think you did. So maybe we'll find out next episode. But yeah, that's how it ended. It ended up with, she's got this romanticized thing of maybe everything what they're saying is wrong, because John is telling her this BS that all these restraining orders and all that stuff isn't him, that he can't find an attorney that could help expunge his record as far as having all of those people that are like him, his name, but different initials and stuff, off of his, background check. But he doesn't have the money to do it. And, he was just trying to be a better man. And because she was so successful, he was trying to match up. And, she's every lie that she keeps confronting him on, he has an excuse. It's a piss poor excuse, but it's an excuse nonetheless. But right now, it looks as though she's taking him back. You're in danger, girl. You're still in danger, girl. So that is the end of that episode. The next episode is coming up. Take care of yourself and each other for Vlogmas. I will be back with another video. Bye.